I'm Amanda Davis.
And I'm Russ Spencer, and this is Fox 5 Eyewitness News, Prime Time.
Tonight on Fox 5 Eyewitness News, Prime Time.
All along, it had been their worst fear. When 8-year-old Brandon Searcy disappeared yesterday, his family and his neighbors joined forces to try to find him. This afternoon, their search ended in heartbreak when Brandon was found dead.
This entire community has to become more involved in helping the police department, the school system, and everybody else address the fact that we have individuals who would snuff out the life of a very promising young man.
Our team of reporters is working on this story that has touched so many of us well beyond Brandon's tightly knit neighborhood.
And it's just so sad. We've been really in agony all day. It's just so terrible.
Tonight, parents cling to their children as they come to grips with an agonizing loss.
Dedicated, determined, dependable. For Wednesday, April 16th, 1997, this is Fox 5 Eyewitness News Prime Time. Now, Fox 5 news anchors Amanda Davis and Russ Spencer.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the tragic loss of a young boy, a loss that no one yet understands.
The body of 8-year-old Brandon Searcy was found this afternoon in some woods not far from his home. He was last seen alive yesterday morning, making his way to a school bus stop in southeast Atlanta. Tonight, Brandon Searcy's family is devastated, and Atlanta Mayor Bill Campbell says the city shares their grief. Fox 5's Melissa Jew begins our coverage with an update on the first stage of the investigation. Melissa.
Amanda, behind me here, you see the house of Arthur Marshall. He is the next-door neighbor of Brandon Searcy and the last person to see Brandon alive. Now, GBI agents have been here for the past 4.5 hours. They've been dusting for fingerprints and searching Marshall's car. And while they won't tell us why, Marshall tells us they must think he's a suspect. GBI investigators search Arthur Marshall's car, while next door, friends and family members of 8-year-old Brandon Searcy mourn the young boy's death. Marshall's reportedly the last person to see Brandon alive as he walked to his school bus stop early Tuesday morning.
I assume that they think that because I was the first person to see him after he left home, that other than his mother, I guess they just thought, that I would be a suspect.
Brandon never made it to his bus stop, which is 50 yards from where he was last seen alive. Searchers used all-terrain vehicles to look for the boy in a heavily wooded area, while his mother prayed for good news.
I know the Lord got him in his hand, but I just want to see it. Just see him one more time.
Investigators by the afternoon made a grim discovery, Brandon's school backpack in the woods. And then they found his body. The boy's grandmother identified Brandon at the scene. Mayor Bill Campbell has offered a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest.
Nothing could be more difficult or more tragic for our city. This young boy was not in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was on the way to school.
Marshall told investigators that he's given Brandon and his mother rides in his car. Police won't say whether he's a suspect.
We are not at liberty to share any of the details of the investigation. It is very early on in this case. There are promising leads.
Marshall works as an assistant principal at a local school. Would you ever hurt a child?
No. I work with them daily. And I have no reason to.
Now, investigators do not have a cause of death yet on Brandon. That information will be available after an autopsy is performed. Marshall did also tell us tonight that Brandon's family members, have told him that they don't believe he had anything to do with Brandon's death. We're live in southeast Atlanta tonight. Melissa Jew, Fox 5 Eyewitness News.
Melissa, this is hard for me as well. I'm a parent. I have a child. I feel so terrible for the Searcy family. What are they saying tonight? They indicated that they don't think Mr. Marshall did this. How are they feeling otherwise? How are they coping?
Well, his mother is obviously very devastated, but according to friends, she is holding strong tonight, but she has indicated that she wants justice to be served in this case.
Melissa Jew, thank you for the update. Mayor Bill Campbell has established a $5,000 reward fund for information regarding Brandon's death. Anyone who wants to add to this fund can do so by dropping off money at any branch of the First Union Bank. Anyone with any information should contact the Atlanta Police Department.
Amanda, Brandon Searcy's death has left a community in shock. People who thought they knew the area, who felt comfortable sending their children out to play, are now worried about letting their children out of their sight. Fox 5's Sharon Crowley is live near the wooded area where Brandon's body was found with that part of the story. Sharon?
Russ, Brandon's body was found just behind me here. You can still see there is police tape here. His death has touched many parents in this community, some who didn't even know the child. They're concerned about their own children tonight. Two mothers place a cross a few feet from where an 8-year-old boy was found dead.
For the baby, like he's a child. We don't know what happened to him, and we need to find out what happened to him. And that's for him, so he can rest. And it's just so sad. We've been really in agony all day. It's just so terrible.
They never knew Brandon Searcy, but they heard how he disappeared walking to the bus stop, and his body was later recovered in a field near his home. The tragedy has upset many parents in this southeast Atlanta neighborhood. No. Leaving some to wonder how this could have happened.
This is a child. A child. He's still an angel of God. And then somebody take his little life like this, how do this, all parents are touched right now because of this.
This mother was so concerned, she picked up her child at the bus stop this afternoon. She says she's not taking any chances.
It's scary. So we growed up here, we played on the street, and we will never believe nothing happened like this.
Other parents feel the same.
You just don't feel like it's safe for her to ride the school bus home. Not until they catch the person that did this, or the person.
Janice Mitchell lives across the street from the Searcy's home. Her daughter used to walk home from school with Brandon. What kind of kid was he?
He was a smart, nice kid. We had fun together.
Many parents in this neighborhood say until more is known about what exactly happened to Brandon, they won't let their children walk to the bus stop alone. And one of the parents that I spoke with was hoping that maybe this tragedy could organize a neighborhood watch. She said it's just not realistic to think that your children cannot walk to the bus stop. She's hoping that maybe the adults in the community can rally together so they can all watch each other's children. Reporting live from Southeast Atlanta, Sharon Crowley, Fox 5 Eyewitness News, Prime Time.
Sounds like it'll be a long time, Sharon, before the people in that area feel safe again.
Yeah, they're pretty spooked tonight.
Sharon, thanks very much. Brandon Searcy's mother says she first knew something was wrong yesterday afternoon. Brandon left for school yesterday morning about 7, but he never made it to the bus stop. His mother didn't find out he was missing until yesterday afternoon when Brandon didn't come home from school. After calling Cleveland Avenue Elementary and learning that Brandon hadn't been there all day long, she called police and Brandon's aunt called us. Almost immediately, the search began, and all through the night, the mystery grew. And then this afternoon, around 2 o'clock, we learned that Brandon's body had been found. Now, some people think that the school should have called Brandon's mother as soon as he failed to show up for classes.
Russ, in fact, if Brandon had disappeared on a Monday, Wednesday, or a Friday, someone from the school would have called. But as Fox 5's Tom Corbin explains, that since Brandon disappeared on a Tuesday, his absence fell through the cracks. Tom?
Homicide Task Force continues to look for the murder of that 8-year-old boy. School Superintendent Ben Canada, meanwhile, hopes this never happens again. Cleveland Elementary, that is Brandon's school, unlike other schools, only reports absent students to parents on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brandon, of course, disappeared on Tuesday, and it's a policy that is now getting a very, very close look.
Brandon Searcy left his home for Cleveland Elementary Tuesday morning. The 8-year-old never walked to the school doors. His mother called police not long after 2. That's when she called the school telling her the second grader never showed. 24 hours later, Brandon's body is found, not far from his bus stop, as his friends stand and stare.
I feel that loss as if though it were my own.
School Superintendent Ben Canada is looking at policy now. Cleveland only reports absent pupils to parents on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Obviously, from a Monday morning quarterback standpoint, we would have notified her the day before. We did not. Unfortunately, we did not. What we are doing, though, is looking at our policies as we would do with any situation where there's been a tragedy to see what we can do.
Chief Beverly Harvard says her officers respond as soon as they know. called out Tuesday, searching through the night, finding Brandon by midday.
Does it matter how much time has lapsed?
No, it does not. It does not, because if the parent says, my child should have been here by now, my child is not here, then we automatically assume that's a missing child.
Brandon's mom is wheelchair-bound, can't walk much, but she told Chief Harvard to tell parents this.
Take the children wherever it is that they're going. Don't send them, and that was the message that she wanted to give to other parents.
Superintendent Canada, meanwhile, says round-the-week monitoring should now be a must. But on the streets between school and home, he's asking for help.
We will look at policies, what have you, but it's going to take this entire community to come together to stop the vicious attacks on the children on the streets of Atlanta and Metro Atlanta.
There is a $5,000 reward. Canada, meanwhile, did meet with Brandon's mother this evening. They're both asking parents to stay close to their kids. Reporting live, Tom Corbin, Fox 5, Eyewitness News.
A lesson for us all. Thank you, Tom. Just last week, a little boy was almost kidnapped from the same neighborhood. 4-year-old Donald Gresham was playing in his front yard last Thursday. A gray Jeep pulled up and 3 men tried to get him into the vehicle. But when Donald's sister and cousin got near the Jeep, it sped off. When the car returned to the neighborhood moments later, Donald's mother wrote down the license number and called police. Officers later arrested 2 men for attempted kidnapping.
The police are saying little about how Brandon died, but the tragedy has every parent second-guessing their own children's safety. One thing the experts agree on, it is never too soon to start warning children to keep their distance from strangers. Atlanta cops spend a lot of time visiting elementary schools, telling children about the tricks and enticements that criminals sometimes use to get children to come with them. Among them, money and candy.
Stress to them, no matter how bad you may want this money that this person is going to offer, to just say no. Say no, and if you have to, run away.
Officer Carla McAdoo says parents should emphasize with their children that even friendly strangers can be dangerous. Warn them against getting in a stranger's car under any circumstances, and children should know how to dial 911. So many people have been affected by this sad story. Every parent, everyone who knows and loves any child. Our team of reporters and photographers is keeping a close watch on the investigation of Brandon's death. And later in this newscast, Fox 5's Melissa Jew will bring us a live update from the scene. And our team coverage will continue in the morning on Good Day Atlanta and throughout the day tomorrow on Fox 5 Eyewitness News.
All right, now we're going to take a break in the news. We want to turn to Ken Cook. He's in our forecast center for our first look at tonight's weather. Ken.
Amanda, it is a pleasant evening across Georgia, and there is a small line of light showers approaching across Tennessee and parts of central Kentucky, although most of what might be considered light rain occurs in that darker green that you see in Kentucky and in the little spots of yellow or moderate rain. There's very little of that across Tennessee, and there's very little chance that much rain will move across Georgia. Maybe just some light sprinkles, and that'll be it within the next few hours. Here's a look at what's going on around the rest of the southeast. There's very little moisture associated with this cold front that's moving in. The reason for that is that high pressure has covered the whole region ahead of the front, not allowing moisture to come northward out of the Gulf of Mexico. Temperatures ahead of the front have been in the 60s this evening, in the frontal zone in the 50s, and then falling off into the 40s and 30s. So there is much cooler air moving in, and it will be noticeable tomorrow afternoon, and especially tomorrow night as we again drop down into the 30s. We'll be back with a forecast for the rest of the week and the weekend and have it for you in just a few minutes.
Ken, thanks. We'll see you then.
Still ahead on Fox 5 Eyewitness News Prime Time. He's a former Falcon whose name you'll recognize. Tonight, Andre Rison has been arrested.
And now here's a look at tonight's primetime rundown. At 10:23 tonight, the case of a Marietta veterinarian accused of beating a dog senseless. Tonight, some former employees have disturbing things to say about it.
And later, at about 1:45, 2 stories you won't want to miss. A pill that helps you lose weight and allows you to eat the way you always do.
Plus, why Shaq's neck movements in a commercial are being called insensitive.
You're watching Fox 5 Eyewitness News Prime Time with Amanda Davis, Russ Spencer, Ken Cook's weather, Jeff Hollinger sports. Dedicated, determined, dependable. Fox 5 Eyewitness News continues in a moment.
Former Atlanta Falcons player Andre Rison is trying to make bail tonight. He was arrested this evening in Gwinnett County for disorderly conduct. These are pictures of Rison from this year's Super Bowl. Police say he was riding with a friend today when officers ordered the friend to pull over. That's when Rison and the driver were taken into custody. Rison's bail was set at $120. When we checked with officials at the Gwinnett County Jail about a half an hour ago, they told us that Risen only had $83 on him at the time.
Russ, a current Atlanta Falcons football player is also in trouble with the law tonight, but on more serious charges. James Patrick Bates is accused of attacking his ex-girlfriend and threatening to kill her, himself, and their 3-week-old child. Fox 5's Shirley Washington joins us now live. She has exclusive details of what happened. Shirley.
Amanda, police say Bates broke into his ex-girlfriend's apartment early this morning while she was nursing their 3-week-old baby boy. They say he beat her brutally with the gun and then kidnapped her and the baby. Tonight, Bates is behind bars facing some very serious charges. Atlanta Falcon football player James Patrick Bates shows tremendous talent on the field. Dawning number 24, the defensive tackle, is quick to sack his opponent. However, Fulton County police are not concerned about the games Bates plays, but rather the crimes he's accused of committing. According to this police report, Bates broke into his girlfriend's apartment early this morning while she was nursing their 3-week-old baby boy. He allegedly grabbed the child from his mother's arms and began hitting her in the head and face with a pistol. The report states Bates threatened to kill his ex-girlfriend, their baby, and himself, and advised if she called the police, then he would get in a shootout and kill them too.
Allegedly, he entered the apartment by kicking the door in, then grabbed her forcibly, and then hit her about the body and the head with a weapon. Took her then from that apartment location and the baby to another location and kept her against her will.
Bates was arrested at his home in Duluth. He's charged with aggravated assault, kidnapping, and child endangerment. The 26-year-old Falcon played for the Oakland Raiders before he came to Atlanta. Police say this isn't the first time Bates has been in trouble with the law. He was arrested and charged with simple battery for allegedly beating his ex-girlfriend just 12 days ago.
He was arrested and went to court on April the 4th and was subsequently reset until May the 14th. In order for him to seek some counseling and some evaluations.
Bates is sitting in a jail cell now, awaiting a court appearance tomorrow afternoon. Now, police say a woman was with Bates when he went to his ex-girlfriend's apartment. They say the woman actually drove Bates, his ex-girlfriend, and the baby to his apartment. Tonight, they are investigating to find out whether the woman, only known as Amanda, will face any charges. In Atlanta, Shirley Washington, Fox 5 Eyewitness News.
Shirley, what about the ex-girlfriend? What kind of condition is she in?
From what we understand, Amanda, she's doing okay. Police tell me she drove herself to a local hospital for treatment, and we also understand she is with her baby tonight.
Shirley Washington, thank you.
Straight ahead on Fox 5 Eyewitness News Prime Time tonight, a follow-up to an I-Team investigation that outraged so many of our viewers.
I'm I-Team reporter Randy Travis. A Marietta vet already under investigation by the state now faces new allegations. 5 of his former employees say they saw him abusing animals too. The story next.
Now, tonight's winning lottery numbers. Fox 5 Eyewitness News continues in a moment. Fox 5 Eyewitness News returns with an exclusive I-Team investigation.
A state review board takes up the case of a Marietta veterinarian accused of being a dog's worst friend. Dr. Dennis Baldoff denies he beat a 2-year-old child senseless. But tonight, 5 more of his former employees come forward to tell our I-Team what they claim they saw. I-Team reporter Randy Travis joins us now with some allegations that are painful to even hear. We've got more, Randy.
Yeah, man, that's because it is so difficult to imagine a vet abusing animals in the way these people describe. They all say they worked for Dr. Baldoff in years past. Now the Board of Veterinary Medicine will apparently soon hear what they have to say. 5 prominent veterinarians from across the state meet for the first time since one of their own became the focus of some disturbing allegations.
Did you really hit a dog with a shovel?
No, sir, certainly didn't.
2 weeks ago, Cobb County authorities arrested Dr. Dennis Baldoff, charging the Marietta vet with 1 count of misdemeanor cruelty to animals. An employee said she saw her boss become so angry with this pet chow, he beat the dog using a shovel and a board.
He acted like he liked doing it.
The dog's injuries were so severe, he was put to sleep the next day.
This is a veterinarian's nightmare to handle vicious animals and then have to go on TV and explain yourself.
Dr. Baldoff denied doing anything wrong, showing off a bite mark the chow gave him after the alleged beating. blaming the case on disgruntled employees. But the State Board of Veterinary Medicine has punished Baldoff before, 3 times since 1987. In a closed-door meeting, members could have temporarily suspended his license, but instead, they took no action. The board could have ordered a temporary suspension, but that would automatically end the investigation. And state investigators still want to see if there's a larger case to be made against Dr. Baldoff. Did he abuse other animals? Well, to find out, that means contacting anybody who used to work here. How many of you actually saw Dr. Baldoff abuse animals? All of you?
All of them.
These 5 former employees all want to talk to state investigators. Each say they worked for Dr. Baldoff in the last 3 years. Each has their own tale of outrageous treatment of animals.
A cat's not easy to handle, and if it would not calm down for it to get a shot or anything, take blood, his fist would come across its head.
He would tape their mouth shut with duct tape.
We'd send animals home with bloodshot eyes, with gums that were bleeding from where heads had hit floors or tables.
I seen a little kitten get loose one time and him stomp through the treatment room trying to get it till he finally did get it by stepping on its head to the point of where I thought its eyes were actually going to bulge out.
They claim Dr. Baldoff would tell them he didn't like animals, and he treated them rough to teach them who was boss. So why did it take so long to come forward?
It was my word against his. This one instance, it's the last straw. And I'm ready to tell what I know.
Despite their negative experiences, at least 2 of Dr. Baldoff's ex-employees still want to make veterinary medicine a career. But all 5 are certain about one thing. They believe their old boss should never practice veterinary medicine again.
How could you hurt something like that?
Well, because of that dog bite, Dr. Baldoff's attorney says the vet has been unable to work. In fact, he was scheduled to undergo surgery today. Attorney Thomas Rousey says for now at least, they have no comment about these latest allegations of animal abuse.
Well, that was difficult to hear when you think about your pet being abused in that way. What about the investigation, the state's investigation? Is this a lengthy process? Do we know?
They say that despite what the board did not do today, it's still on the fast track, this investigation. The board meets again May 14th, but if investigators wrap up their case before then, they could hold an emergency session and take some action against Dr. Baldoff then.
Is he still caring for animals in the meantime?
Well, we understood that the clinic was closed, but we went out there today and talked to some of the people who work near the clinic and some of the other businesses out there, and they tell us they've still seen people coming in and out of the clinic with pets. So apparently there's still some business being conducted there.
How about that? Continue to follow it for us. Thank you, Randy. Okay.
Well, late tonight, Republican sources said House Speaker Newt Gingrich will pay his $300,000 ethics fine out of his own pocket. Those sources also say Gingrich will have to take out a personal loan to pay that fine. The Ethics Committee fined Gingrich in January after concluding the Marietta Republican broke House rules. Gingrich used tax-exempt organizations to fund the teaching of a college course here in Georgia.
Still to come on Fox 5 Eyewitness News Prime Time. It looks like the leaders of 2 big cigarette companies are ready to cut their legal losses and pay up.
And the pill to keep you slim, and you may not even have to change your eating habits. How about that, Ken?
Russ, another strong cold front moving our way. Just how low are those temperatures going to go? We'll have a forecast coming up for you right after this.
Now, Fox 5 Eyewitness Weather.
Ken's back, cooler weather coming, and I, for one, like it.
You do? I don't like it. I prefer just short sleeves and shorts and then get warm and stay warm. And maybe it will happen now after this one. This could be the last really major push. It's way past due now. This cold air moving in once again. Temperatures will be falling into the 30s overnight. Not tonight, but tomorrow night and the next night. 2 very chilly nights, then starting to moderate as we move into the weekend. Let's show you what's going on. There's just a narrow ribbon of clouds associated with this cold front coming in across the mid part of the country, now approaching extreme northwest Georgia. So the front will be moving into the state within the next few hours. There's not much rain associated with it. Not much moisture came into the picture from the south, and the front should be already past our area by about sunrise tomorrow. Here's a look at that precipitation pattern now. We do see some light green, a lot of which doesn't even reach the ground. It's in the clouds or evaporates on the way down. Some snow on the backside of the cold air in the mid Great Lakes region. The front's moving very rapidly to the south now, so it's going to pass through here before sunrise. It's going to be down in southeast Georgia, North Florida already by tomorrow afternoon, and then this big high-pressure cell will push in behind it with blustery northwesterly winds tomorrow and much cooler temperatures. Now, as we look at the temperatures across the country, it's almost remarkably or unbelievably mild this evening out in the west. It's still 71 degrees at Boise, 87 at Phoenix, and even 62 at Great Falls, Montana. So the warm air is building into the west. The cool air now is riding southward on northwesterly wind across the plains, across the Great Lakes, up to the frontal zone, approaching Nashville this evening. Ahead of that, you've got somewhat milder air moving in from the west or southwest, but it's not that much warmer south of the front, and the air is certainly not that much more moist to the south of the front. Now tomorrow the cold air continues to move to the east, continues to come on down to the south with 40s and 50s, reaching Georgia as a matter of fact, 60s for our area, so it's a drop of about 10 degrees tomorrow, 70s in the southern part of the state, but out west the bubble of warm air continues to increase there, so we're going to see a lot of 70s all the way up into Montana, perhaps even southern Canada, 80s and 90s in California and Arizona. Let's look outside now and see what's going on in the Atlanta area at 10 o'clock. The sky is still clear. 61 was the temperature. Look at the dew point, still very low at 38. If we were going to get rain, it should be closer to that 61. 42% humidity, a variable wind, and a rising barometer. Today's high reached only 72. 45 was the low, and the day was 3 below average. Sun comes up at 7:04 and goes down at 8:10 tomorrow evening. Now, as we come back into Georgia, we find our temperatures settling pretty much around the 60-degree mark, a few 50s showing up, even in middle Georgia, southeast Georgia, and up in Rome and up in Asheville, North Carolina. They will continue to fall slowly during the night. The cold front this afternoon was a little bit further west than it is right now approaching Nashville, and it's very quickly going to slide on through the state, and then by tomorrow evening it's already going to be down to Jacksonville, approaching Tampa. A few showers move through, mainly north of the Atlanta area, very light, a non-consequential type rain event, and it's not going to add anything to our moisture deficit right now. Lows in the 30s in Tennessee tonight, 40s for North Georgia, and 50s in the south. So our forecast looks like this. For tonight, you can look for a slight chance of a brief shower passing by, 44 to 48 degrees. In the morning, breezy, temperature in the mid-40s. By lunchtime, windy, 55 to 60. In the afternoon, windy and cool, 60 to 65. In the extended forecast, we're going to see 2 very cold nights on Friday morning and Saturday morning, and then by the time we move into Sunday, it starts to warm up a bit, and a chance of rain moving in on Monday. We'll come back with the morning forecast and have that for you about 5 till 11. See you then.
All right, Ken, how's this? One North Georgia family is returning home with some big money from the Georgia Lottery's big game. The Warren family got a check for part of their $26 million jackpot today. That's the biggest lottery prize ever awarded in Georgia. Maxine Warren of Rossville, Georgia, is one of 3 people to share an almost $80 million prize. She says she isn't going to quit her part-time $7 an hour job with the police department, but she and her husband, William, may renovate their home.
I'm seriously thinking about bulldozing it down because we have 5 acres and building me a nice one.
Maxine Warren says she plans on spending a lot of the money on her kids and grandkids. And in case you're curious, her prize amounts to $877,800 a year for the next 20 years, and that is after taxes. You could live on that, huh?
Yeah. Are you a long-lost grandchild somewhere?
Yeah, I'll tell you, you're going to check that family tree.
There you go. Coming up next on Fox 5 Eyewitness News Prime Time, we'll have the latest for you in the search for a warplane that seems to have disappeared in thin air.
And why a tilt of Shaq's neck has offended so many people.
Police are holding 4 teenagers in connection with the murder of a Marietta convenience store worker. The 34-year-old clerk was working the overnight shift when he was shot to death early Tuesday morning. Last night, investigators arrested 2 19-year-old men and 2 16-year-olds for the crime. Officers say one of the 16-year-olds was the trigger man. Police are also looking for a woman who they say entered the store after the shooting. According to investigators, a surveillance camera recorded her taking cigarettes from the store while the clerk was lying in a pool of blood.
A Cobb County teenager charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide faced a judge today in juvenile court. Ashley Best was driving with 5 of her friends from Sprayberry High School last year, fleeing a homecoming prank when her car left the roadway and crashed. 3 of those friends were killed. Well, today the judge spared Ashley any jail time, sentencing her instead to 2 years probation.
Has a great load off of her shoulders, and she's been through a lot. We're very thankful for our attorneys and the district attorney for how they handled the case, and just very pleased.
The parents of the other teenage victims agreed with that sentence. The judge also ordered Ashley to perform 50 hours of community service. Her probation requires that she stay in touch with her parents and keep them advised of her whereabouts at all times. And she is forbidden from associating with anyone who has a criminal record. Ashley is also taking part in a driver training video that is not part of her sentence, but a project she volunteered for.
There is confusion tonight over testing of the rifle believed used to assassinate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Confusion because of two conflicting rulings today in Memphis. First, a judge ordered a temporary halt in any decisions on evidence in the case. Then another judge ordered a new test on the rifle. King's confessed killer, James Earl Ray, is seeking new tests on the rifle as part of his effort to withdraw his guilty plea and go to trial. It's unclear what will happen next.
When Fox 5 Eyewitness News Primetime returns tonight, the nation's two biggest tobacco companies abandon their all-out defense of cigarettes.
And the taco net trick that's supposed to be funny, so why are some folks so angry about it? Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu may be indicted in a political scandal in Israel. Netanyahu is accused of making a political appointment as part of an arrangement to protect a friend who was facing corruption charges. The Prime Minister could face charges of fraud and breach of trust. Netanyahu says he's innocent of any wrongdoing. This latest dispute is fueling concerns about the already fragile peace process. Opposition leaders say Netanyahu should step down.
Amanda, back in the U.S., two leading tobacco companies are talking with at least 8 state attorneys general about possibly settling a string of lawsuits. Philip Morris and RJR Nabisco executives are holding secret meetings in Washington. It's believed they're considering a settlement of at least $300 billion in exchange for a blanket agreement to protect the tobacco industry. The tobacco giants may agree to restrictions on advertising like Joe Camel and the Marlboro Man. Some people say the characters make smoking attractive to minors. Now, despite the talks, some congressmen say only Congress can offer a blanket agreement.
I am skeptical about concessions by the tobacco giants, and we have to make sure that we hold their feet to the fire.
The Liggett Group recently turned over thousands of internal documents that may contain damaging information about tobacco products. The documents were handed over as part of a settlement the tobacco company made with 22 states. Well, the Air Force is checking more than 100 spots in the Southwest where a missing pilot could have landed. Captain Craig Button flew away from a training mission 2 weeks ago. Search teams have used special radar that can see through snow. They've even ventured onto avalanche-prone mountains where unusual formations have been spotted through the snow, and there has been no sign of Button or the plane. An Air Force general concedes the military simply does not know what happened.
Some researchers predict the next generation of diet pills may work on your metabolism and not your appetite. Just burning away extra calories while you sit or sleep is an appealing concept, but one challenge has always been finding a way to raise your metabolism without creating dangerous side effects like making your heart rate go up or making you shake.
That road is fraught with a lot of pitfalls along the way, and there's certainly no guarantee.
Doctors say if the pill is developed, it will only be prescribed for the truly obese. In the meantime, they remind you that anyone can boost their metabolism at any time with exercise. A Taco Bell commercial that tries to be funny instead has some people too angry to buy their tacos.
Now it appears that Shaq is suffering from a neck injury.
The idea is that Shaquille O'Neal has bent his neck from eating tacos. But Laura Jones says a real medical condition twisted her father's neck like that, and people instead laughed at him. She's not laughing at the commercial, and she's suing Taco Bell.
The first time I saw it, I stood in front of the TV set. I couldn't believe it. I just stood there with my mouth hanging open. And it was like looking at my dad at his worst, with his head propped over.
Taco Bell has no plans to kill the commercials, but the company promises to be sensitive to these people's feelings in future campaigns.
Just ahead on Fox 5 Eyewitness News Primetime tonight, the Hawks are fighting the Knicks for playoff position. Jeff is next with the highlights.
And before you tune in a few more minutes for a look at tomorrow's forecast.
Our Fox 5 featured photo tonight might make you want to stand up and scream. It's Chang, the longest, tallest stand-up roller coaster in the world. The new roller coaster is delivering thrills at Kentucky Kingdom Park in Louisville. Chang rises 154 feet above the park and holds 5 design and construction world records. Riders say standing up in the face of the twists and dives is the scary part. The park is betting millions will pay for the experience. It invested $12 million in that new ride.
Who needs to eat a lot of bran when you can get a season's pass for that thing, huh?
There you go.
Hawks on the road in New York City. They had their chances late in the fourth quarter, but the Knicks own them tonight, and they own the tiebreaker. Knicks with a victory at Madison Square Garden, 96-92. Both teams tied for third position in the East, but New York's got the tiebreaker, and that's got to concern Lenny Wilkins right now. Man, it was great down the stretch. Steve Smith, who had 33, and the Knicks are up by only 1. Here's Charles Oakley fighting, going off glass, the rebound and the shot. Knicks by 3. A minute 24 left. Dikembe Mutombo hits, and Knicks lead 92-89. Here's Pat Ewing, the clutch shot, 24 points, 10 rebounds. They're up by 4, and Mookie hits it. Too bad, too little, too late, and the Knicks are victorious tonight. In Boston, the Hornets pick up their 9th straight win. They are rolling toward the postseason. They entered the night 1 behind the Knicks for the 4th slot in the East, and they win tonight 108-102. More playoff news. Landover, the Bullets have the 8th slot over Cleveland right now. They beat Indiana 103-90. Juwan Howard, you saw, and now Rod Strickland for the easy lay-in. 103-90. Washington is a winner tonight. Detroit over Milwaukee. It is Cleveland, a winner with Orlando. Miami beats Chicago this evening. Dallas over Minnesota. Denver and Portland are early. Braves close out their series with an afternoon victory in Turner Field. They stopped the Reds 7-1. Greg Maddux did not start because of a sore hamstring. Terrell Wade was very effective his first start of the year. Wade Strong, 4 1/3, gave up only 3 hits. Michael Tucker in the 3rd, 1-0 Reds when he gets the RBIs. 2 of them, Blauser and Lofton, score. Speaking of Blauser and Lofton offensively, they got it done today. Jeff Blauser, his 2nd home run of the year. There in the 5th, a solo shot that made it 3-1. Same inning, Kenny Lofton, who had 4 for 5 today. The solo home run to left, it's a 4-1 game. In relief, Paul Bird picks up the victory. Also, strong relief performances from Mike Bielecki and Wohlers. And that's it. Let's go into the clubhouse. Here's Paul Bird.
Really excited that I can contribute because it's a great staff. We got great relievers and a great closer, and I feel privileged being able to help the team out and being used in the situations that I have been. It's just, it's been a blast.
I'm enjoying myself right now, having a lot of fun, trying to get the job done for the guys. And when the team's playing well, it makes it a lot easier for the other guys to go out there and play free and easy with a little bit more confidence.
I've hit 14 home runs last year, so I mean, I can hit the ball at the park, but I don't want to all the time because that's not my job. That's Chipper's job.
Braves off tomorrow, then it's on to Denver. Florida keeps pace, they win. LA over New York. How about the Cubs? 0-12. It's a news special from the people who bring you those cop shows. 0-12. 0-12, can you believe it? San Diego over Pittsburgh. In 10, San Francisco a winner. And in 7 right now, Houston has a lead on Montreal. American League, Cleveland tonight. Steve Avery starting against the Indians, taking his first American League win. Boston a winner 11-6. That is 4 in a row for Jimmy Williams' team. Here is Tony Fernandez. In the 5th, the RBI single. But give it to Mo Vaughn in Boston tonight. He hit 2 3-run home runs. That's the 2nd. Mo Vaughn wearing number 42 in Fenway with the home runs. 11-6 is the final. Milwaukee over New York, 7-4. Seattle a winner with Detroit. Toronto too much for Oakland. Chicago takes care of Baltimore in the 9th. Texas has a lead in the 7th. Anaheim trails Minnesota. The NHL hunt for the Stanley Cup began tonight. The postseason is long and wildly entertaining. We begin with a rematch from 1996. The Blues and the Red Wings open with the Western Conference. Pierre Turgeon. Here he shoots, he scores. 2-0 Blues. Detroit hasn't won a Stanley Cup in 42 years. We will see if that changes, but they are off to a relatively slow start in this series. All right. It went dark, and then the lights come back. 3rd period right now. Colorado has a lead on Chicago. Edmonton and Dallas says 2-2. That's now 3-3 in the 3rd period, and Phoenix and Anaheim are underway. Again, the Hawks beaten in New York tonight.
All right.
That's too bad. All right. You're back. How about in the morning for us? Cold? Well, it's a little bit cool, but it's going to get colder the following morning. So just cool and breezy tomorrow morning as the front's coming on through. Mid-40s. The day will be windy and cool, a lot cooler than today. 60 to 65 for a high and northwesterly wind that kicks up to 15 to 25 miles an hour at times. So it's going to be a blustery day tomorrow and a very chilly night tomorrow night down to 35 degrees. So we're close to freezing once again. I know lots of folks have gardens out there. 62 on Friday and 38 then Friday night. So we can't get out of this winter pattern.
All right, fair enough. Ken, thanks.
Right now, we want to bring you up to date on tonight's lead story, the investigation into the death of little Brandon Searcy. Fox 5's Melissa Jew has been covering this story for us all evening long. She joins us now with the very latest. Melissa?
Amanda, we're outside here, the home of Arthur Marshall, the next-door neighbor of Brandon Searcy. There has been a lot of police activity here tonight. GBI agents were out here at the house for about 4.5 hours tonight, searching Marshall's car, dusting for fingerprints. Marshall was the last person to see young Brandon alive as he was walking to his school bus stop yesterday morning. Well, Brandon never made it to the bus stop. He never made it to school. Police used all-terrain vehicles to search for the boy in the woods. His body was found there late this afternoon. Marshall says although they have searched his car, they haven't asked him many questions.
They really aren't asking me anything. They did ask me one question, if Brandon had ever been in my car. And he has, but I can't say when. It's been so long ago. And his mother knows it because his mother's been in my car.
Now, Mr. Marshall has given Brandon and his mother rides because his mother doesn't walk very well. Now, police do say, or are not saying, rather, that Marshall is a suspect in this case. The exact cause of death on Brandon Searcy will not be known until an autopsy is performed. We're live in Southeast Atlanta tonight. Melissa Jew, Fox 5 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Melissa. And of course, we'll continue following the story for you. We'll have the latest information beginning in the morning on Good Day Atlanta.
That is the news for now. Thanks for making Fox 5 Eyewitness News Prime Time your choice for news. For the news team, I'm Russ Spencer.
And I'm Amanda Davis. MASH is coming up next. Have a good night.
Fox 5 Eyewitness News was brought to you by Sprint Business. Thousands of businesses turn to us to help them do more business. By Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. And by Matchlight Charcoal, ready to cook on in just 15 minutes. Closed captioning of this newscast is brought to you in part by U.S. Healthcare. Fox 5 Eyewitness News at 10 can be seen in its entirety on Media One News, Channel 33 at 11 p.m. If you see news happening, call the Fox 5 Eyewitness Newsroom. Just dial *5 on your Bell South Mobility cell phone. The call is free. You can be a part of Fox 5 Eyewitness News.